The 1970s, a time of peace, rebellion, and the American dream flourishing in suburban California. Families lived behind white picket fences. Doors were left unlocked. Children rode their bikes freely through quiet streets. It was a time of trust, of innocence. But in the shadows something dark was stirring. A shadow would soon slip through these open windows. A predator who would tear apart that sense of safety forever. This is the story of the Golden State Killer. And tonight we begin at the very start, where small crimes led to an unstoppable storm of terror. In 1974, Visalia, California was the picture of small-town life. Farms, friendly neighbors, and a deep trust that evil was something that only happened far away. But all of that would change. At first the crime seemed minor. A stolen coin collection here, a missing wedding ring there, a few ransacked homes, windows smashed, drawers pulled open, closets emptied. But the more detectives looked, the stranger it became. Nothing of real value was taken. Sometimes small, deeply personal items, like photographs, would vanish. Other times the intruder would rearrange furniture, almost as if he wanted his victims to feel violated on a psychological level. They called him the Visalia ransacker. A thief, yes, but with a chilling twist. He wasn't just stealing things. He was stealing peace of mind. Over 120 burglaries were reported between 1974 and 1975. The pattern was undeniable, and deeply unsettling. The ransacker targeted mostly single women. He broke into homes when no one was there, or worse, when the women were sleeping inside. But it was about to get even darker. In September 1975, Claude Snelling, a journalism professor at College of the Sequoias, heard a noise outside his home around 2 a.m. He discovered a masked man attempting to abduct his teenage daughter from her bedroom. Snelling bravely tried to intervene. In the struggle, the masked intruder pulled a gun and shot him dead. The Visalia ransacker had committed his first known murder. The crime escalated from burglary to bloodshed. Now, the entire town was gripped by fear. Parents slept with weapons by their beds. Neighborhood watch groups were formed overnight. Visalia was no longer safe. After the Snelling murder, the police ramped up their efforts. They set up stakeouts. They increased patrols. They believed it was only a matter of time before they caught him, and they almost did. One night, Officer McGowan, part of a surveillance team, spotted a suspicious figure prowling in a neighborhood. He gave chase. The figure ran, weaving through yards and hopping fences. At one point, he turned and fired a gun at McGowan, narrowly missing the officer's face. The ransacker disappeared into the darkness once again, and after that night, he vanished. While Visalia slowly began to heal, another community, Sacramento, would soon find itself in the crosshairs of a much more dangerous monster. In the summer of 1976, a series of brutal home invasions began to terrorize Sacramento's peaceful suburbs. At first, women reported being attacked in their homes while alone, but soon the assailant grew bolder, targeting couples. The masked attacker would slip silently into homes late at night, often after carefully studying his victims for days. He would bind his victims tightly, using shoelaces, ropes, or items from their own homes. He whispered threats. He taunted them. Sometimes, he stayed inside the house for hours after the assault, rummaging through the fridge, eating, drinking, moving things around. The cruelty was deliberate. The fear was the real prize. The media, desperate to warn the public but also fearing mass hysteria, gave him a name, the East Area Rapist. By 1977, over 20 attacks had been linked to him. By 1978, that number had doubled. Each new report painted the same horrifying picture: a man who seemed invisible, a predator who studied, stalked, and struck with chilling precision. Entire neighborhoods lived under siege. Men took self-defense classes. Gun sales soared. Families developed escape plans in case the masked man came for them. But despite hundreds of detectives, community patrols, and a flood of tips, he always slipped away.